Anthony Adebayo. We off the record.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. We off the record. Anthony Adebayo. We off the record. And the most accurate sports coverage. We off the record. Scotty B's Fantasy 5. We off the record. We off the record.
We're different from any other sport.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B. We off the record. We off the record. Woo! Scott, hey, it's gonna be all right, man. It's gonna. This man Scott is livid right now, people. Ladies and gentlemen, trust me, he is livid. But the show must go on.
Yeah, the show must go on.
This is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
It's your boy Scotty B. Man, yeah.
It's okay, man.
Yeah, man. It'll be all right, man. Everything will be okay.
Do you want to tell the people why you're so upset?
Yeah, man, because we got the setup going, and we've invested some additional money in our product, and I was ready to use it today, and I was ready to just push that content out and step our game up. But it looks like it have to happen next week. But yeah, man, that's disappointing, man. But it is what it is. But how was your week, bro?
My week's been pretty good. It's been pretty good. We had our battle. We watched the conference championships. We didn't agree on all of them, but it was a good weekend. I think that the Super Bowl that's about to happen in a couple weeks is gonna be one for the ages.
Yeah, with that being said, my dad said we need to invite him on the show since he keeps taking all of our money. He knows what he's talking about. So hopefully, since we've had to pay him, we understand he knows what he's talking about. Like you said, man, I have not been excited about a Super Bowl in a long time. This Super Bowl is something that we both felt like at the beginning of the season it was going to be Tampa and Kansas City. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that it always looked like it was going to be Tampa Bay. I think everybody already knew that Kansas City was coming out of the AFC.
Right.
But to get the matchup, the old versus the young, can Tom pull it off and just get that what is it, 7? It'd be 7, right?
7. Yeah. So quick funny story before we even continue, right? So when Tom Brady was coming to Tampa Bay and Tampa knew that he was going to sign, they asked him, they said, what number did you want? No, they asked him about number 12, and they said they have somebody that has number 12 that's really, really good. And so Brady was like, well, no, I don't want a number. I don't want 12 if he has it. So they said, well, what number you want? And he said, I'll just take 7 because, so I can after I get my 7th ring or whatever, which I thought was pretty clever. But of course, Godwin gave him the number, and Godwin has 14. Yeah, man. So Brady would have had number 7. That would have looked kind of funny. But with that being said, I think that I continuously call the Kansas City the 2017 Golden State Warriors. I feel like they're as close to that Warriors team as any football team that we've ever seen, and I think that they finished the deal with against Tampa Bay. Now, am I gonna bet on this? Yes, yes, I'm gonna bet on it, and it's gonna be funny. They're gonna build up a narrative, but I just don't see Tampa beating Kansas City.
Yeah, I mean, you just said it. 2017 Warriors, they're unstoppable. And I mean, you may stop them for a quarter, you may stop them for a half. We saw it last year with the 49ers. I mean, they stopped them for 3 quarters, but eventually they're going to figure out a way to score. And when they do, I mean, you said it last week when you started talking about the defense, and their defense, they get stops when they need them. I think you used the analogy that they don't bend. They
Right.
just when they've got to get a stop and they got to shut you down, they figure out how to shut you down enough for their offense to come back and just blow you out and put up massive points. Something that scared me watching, well, it was not scared me, but watching the Green Bay game, that type of defensive line got to Aaron Rodgers a lot.
Yeah.
I believe they had 5 sacks. If they're able to duplicate that, do they have a shot?
Well, absolutely. I think so because here's the thing. Kansas City's going to be without both of their tackles. They're going to be without both of their starting tackles, which is going to make a difference. You got JPP on one side and who's the other end for them? I'm drawing a blank right now, but it doesn't even matter because, again, I think that Patrick Mahomes can buy enough time to where he could get things done. Are we going to give our scores today, or are we going to wait till Friday? I guess we can give our scores.
We can give them. I mean,
and we'll do that a little later. But I think that that Kansas City will be able to run the ball. I don't believe the Packers were really able to run the ball effectively how they have been throughout the year. I think they'll have a chance to run the ball. And yeah, White is a hell of a linebacker for Tampa Bay, but I tell you what, Kelsey is a different animal at tight end, and I think everybody could get that. Who's the best tight end in the league? I know it was a battle between Kittle and Kelsey, but Kelsey's the man. Kelsey is the man.
So let me ask you about Kelsey, right? So you got Rob Gronkowski when he was at the height of his career.
Right.
You got Tony Gonzalez at the height of his career. You got Antonio Gates at the height of his career.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you throw in there Shannon Sharp at the height.
Maybe throwing Shannon Sharp.
Well, I mean, to me, Shannon Sharp played in a different era. His stats, he was good, and he's definitely should be. You know what? I mean Shannon Sharp. I meant Sterling Sharp. That's who I was thinking about. I was thinking that Shannon Sharp was a heck of a receiver too, Hall of Fame receiver too. I was thinking of Sterling Sharp. Huh?
Shannon was a tight end. Sterling was a receiver.
Oh yeah. Huh.
Yeah, Sterling was in. Yeah, he had the neck injury.
Yeah, but he was a bad boy too. But anyway, so all those guys, and I'm probably leaving out a few, and you put Travis Kelce in there. Where do you put him in that group? Like, do you think he's? I'm sure you want to throw Jason Witten in there too, and that's fair.
Yeah, throw Jason Witten in there, but that's a tough one because see now people acting like I said Kittle isn't nice. Kittle's a beast.
Oh, Kittle's a beast too, and Kittle should be in that conversation.
I think Kelsey's better. If you're talking about best ever tight ends, it's really hard to put anybody ahead of Tony Gonzalez. I mean,
Antonio Gates was phenomenal too.
I get it, but Tony Gonzalez was different, and I think I would. Oh my gosh! If you just changed the whole. Oh man! But I would put. I mean, Tony Gonzalez 1.
Okay.
Man, I will put Shannon Sharp at 2. I'll put Antonio Gates at 3 and Kelsey at 4. And that can change. That can change because That's tough, man. Those three right there. Those three right there. No, Aaron.
But you know what though? I thought about Aaron Hernandez.
He was really good. He was really good, but yeah, I mean,
two things hurt Aaron Hernandez though. I mean, beside him, you know, the murder charge and all of that. I think playing with Gronkowski really hurt him. I think his stats would have been a lot better had he not played with Gronkowski, had he been the feature tight end in there. Some people would say, well, the double tight end set is what made them. But if Gronk wasn't there and he had all those touches, I think his stats would have been a lot better. Yeah, Tony Gonzalez by far. I mean, Tony Gonzalez was that dude. Antonio Gates was a monster.
So I think that so when you talk about Gronk, is Gronk top 5 all time? If you got to think about it, I don't know if he is.
Well, I mean, it's hard to put him over those guys.
What about Kelsey? Would you put him over Kelsey?
That's tough, and that's what I was just thinking. So here's the thing about Gronk, right?
Right.
Gronk was a winner. You know what I mean? Those guys were winners too. Kellen Winslow, yeah. I don't know, man. Gronk or Kelsey?
I'll go, oh, man. We'll have to come back to that because I'm really like, you know, I didn't get a chance to really think about it. And I think it's more than just numbers, right? I think when you talk about those guys, it's more than just numbers. And so Gronk was a better passer. I mean, not passer, but a better run blocker, right? And I know people say, "Oh, well, who cares about run blocking?" But I think that's a major part of the game. This is a good question, but right now, Gronk has more. I guess you could say more film. I would actually put Gronk ahead of Kelsey right now, and put Kelsey like by a smidgen behind Gronk, and then you have Kittle, then you got Kellen Winslow, then you got Lance Allworth. Well, I guess Lance Allworth was considered a receiver, right?
Yeah. So let me ask you this, right? So this guy is obviously not top 5. He's not top 10. Maybe somebody's top 10. Where do you put Jimmy Graham? Jimmy Graham had a phenomenal run when he was with the Saints, and I don't know if he cracks top 10. Probably not even top 15. But what's your thoughts on Jimmy Graham?
Jimmy Graham. I wouldn't put him top 10. I don't think he did it long enough to be top 10. Maybe 20, maybe 20. I mean, I would have to go through a list, but he kind of changed the game for tight ends too. Let's not discredit him like that, because he was one of the first tight ends who should have been getting paid like a receiver. And maybe it could have been the system, but no tight end in the Saints system, because they've been running the same system for years, has put up numbers like Jimmy Graham. So, and I'm talking about for the Saints.
No, but you're right though. It is a second tier tight ends like the Vernon Davises. I mean, Vernon Davis was dominant. We talked about him a little bit, but Witten had a pretty dominant career too.
Second tier. I think Witten is higher than second tier. Witten is definitely top 10.
Yeah,
if not top 5. I mean, it's so I think the only thing that Witten is missing is a championship. You know, aside from that, his game was legit. He was legit.
You got Jeremy Shockey.
Jeremy Shockey, I would put as a second tier.
Okay.
You know, but when you get to like Shannon Sharp, Gonzalez, Gates, so I think Gates and Witten are in the same class, man. I think Gates was just probably more athletic, throughout his career than Witten. But Witten was pretty athletic until he got old and he wasn't breaking any tackles. But when you're talking about Gonzalez and Shannon Sharp, I think that they're just a different animal. I think that's they're the top tier. They're like the Jerry Rice, Randy Mosses of everything, of the tight ends, and then there's everybody else. I won't even say because if you say Randy Moss, you should say T.O. as well, but that's another subject for another day. But Witten is up there. Witten is up there. I can't give him a number right now, but he's up there.
So I got a question for you, right? So it's been dominating all the news, and I don't know if it's valid. What do you think about this Aaron Rodgers thing with him?
I just think it's much ado about nothing. I think that Aaron Rodgers – let me not say that. Because I do think that him and his coach bump heads. I thought their relationship was probably a little better this past season. But last week showed that there's still some sort of friction. And I think that he's going to still be there. I don't think he's going anywhere. Not this offseason.
The more I think about it, I think that the Packers went out and got Jordan Love because Aaron Rodgers is probably a diva, and they're tired of putting up with his crap. They'll put up with it as long as they can, but they wanted that insurance just in case he did decide to bolt or leave town or try to hold them hostage.
But is he a diva? I guess most quarterbacks are divas. So I think Aaron Rodgers is if Aaron Rodgers is a diva, he's earned it. He's earned the right to be a diva. I mean, look.
So maybe not diva, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll just say I'll say high maintenance. or no, let's not call high maintenance.
Let's stay with high maintenance for now. Let's stay with high maintenance.
It gonna sound like a pansy, but
no. He demands a lot. He needs the attention. He does. And as he should. He's sort of a rock star, right?
Right.
You call him like a rock star, and everything that he's done, knowing that he hasn't had a first round pick to throw to. And things of that nature. I think that he's done more with some sort of less. I can't even say he's done more with less because the guys that he's been throwing to have been amazing, even though they weren't first round picks. But Jordy Nelson was great with them. What's his name? Randall Cobb was great with them. You still have Devontae Adams. I mean, Jimmy Graham not so much, but he's had some teammates that were amazing, and it may have been because of Aaron Rodgers why they were so good, but they looked damn good while they were there. So
let me ask you this, right? So it's got everybody's mind thinking: if Aaron Rodgers was to go somewhere, like just a choice, what do you think the ideal fit would be for him? If he's sitting there,
Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers.
Everywhere except for Kansas City. Like every other place except for Kansas City. Every single team. And I'm including Seattle. I'm including who you want to say Tennessee because they, Tampa Bay. I'm including any and everywhere except for Kansas City. He would be ideal. And I'll tell you, I'll even one up that. I think if he was to go to any other team in the league, even if he went to Kansas City, which would never happen, they're going to the playoffs.
You take him over Dak Prescott?
So we know that's not going to happen. Right. So here's the thing. I would still keep Dak and bring in Aaron Rodgers. That would never happen. But at this moment, I don't know because Dak is younger But yeah, I mean,
it's very unlikely. But think about it, right? You're Mike McCarthy. Your job is on the hot seat, right? You pretty much have like this year. Last year they gave you a pass. You won a Super Bowl with this guy. This guy is now available. I don't know if what type of relationship they have.
Fantasy
but,
football, man.
Huh?
So you playing fantasy football.
But I'm just saying, like, let's say the Dak Prescott negotiations are not. Let's say Aaron Rodgers does come available. Do you pursue him? Do you try to get him?
If I'm Dallas, no.
If you're Steven Jones, you're Jerry Jones, and Mike McCarthy comes to you and says, you know what, I need Aaron Rodgers. If I get Aaron Rodgers, I can get you deep into the playoffs, probably win you a Super Bowl. Do you go after him?
So I probably wouldn't. So in that situation right there, you would probably have to trade. You probably have to do some sort of sign and trade to sign Dak. I mean, you have to trade Dak. You probably have to trade Cooper, and you probably have to trade Ezekiel Elliott to get Aaron Rodgers. And if that's the case, what the hell is the point? I would just keep Dak. But if you're saying keep everything as it is and switch out Dak and Aaron Rodgers.
I'm saying maybe your first rounder and your third rounder. Keep your players, but you give up your first and your third.
And you still keep Dak?
I mean, you can do whatever you want with that. Yeah.
Playing fantasy football for real. Now I'm going with Dak, man. I'm riding with the home team.
Okay.
I'm keeping Dak. I'm keeping Dak. I'm keeping the pieces that we have offensively. Of course you get some depth on the O-line. Fix the defense however you got to fix it, because that defense is – I think it's going to be a little different now. Bringing in Dan Quinn, I don't know. But I do like what Dallas has done with the assistant coaches. But nah, I'm a roll with Dak and just roll with the punches.
Yes. So what's interesting about all this is, like, you look at Tom Brady last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So New England releases him, and I would have never thought, while he was playing for the Patriots, that Tampa Bay would have been the team that he would have went to. Now, it made sense just because of the defense and the receivers and all the pieces that they had, why he went there. I'm interested and I won't hear it, but to know where Aaron Rodgers is looking like, if I had that team, I'd kill it. Or, if I had my opportunity, if I wasn't with Green Bay, this is where I would go.
With everything considered, I think San Francisco.
Oh yeah,
I think San Francisco. If it was something like that, I think San Francisco would be the ideal place. Because they have everything that he would need. They got the receivers, they got a running game, they got a pretty good defense. The coach is solid, so yeah, I think San Francisco will be A-Rod's Tampa Bay. And that could literally be at Aaron Rodgers. They might go to the Super Bowl, but that's not gonna happen. So. Hey man, I think San Francisco was it.
Well, you got a lot of quarterbacks out there, so I think we're in agreement that Green Bay is going to do whatever they have to keep Aaron Rodgers. They're not going to send him out, but you still got Matt Stafford out there.
Washington,
you got Dak. Dak could probably stay, but he's still out there. Mm-hmm. You got Deshaun Watson. You think, okay, so he'll go to the Jets. You got Matt Ryan, I think, has a year left on his contract, but I don't know if they're going to go into a full-fledged rebuild.
They'll probably trade him to San Francisco. Come on, keep them coming, man. I got destinations for everybody.
Got destinations for everybody. Who else is available that you think?
Who's not available? Sure, I don't know. I can't think of them right now.
We know Carson Wentz is going to stay put.
Is he? I don't know. I don't know. Don't be surprised if Carson Wentz is not in Philly next year.
I know they brought in Frank Reich Jr. To help him get back to his basics or whatnot. I think he's going to stay. And
Yeah,
then I see
I
this
don't know
guy.
I don't know how I feel about that hire, but I
Hey
mean,
man, trying to get that old thing back.
the offensive coordinator for the Colts. All right, yeah, I don't know. I who are the minorities that they interviewed for this job? That's what I want to know first. I want to know who the candidates were that they interviewed, because if that's the guy, the only thing I can say is that it's fresh blood, right? So he's never been a coach before, and that's cool. So you don't really know what to expect, but I want to know who else was available, because there's an offensive coordinator in Kansas City right now that would do wonders in Philadelphia. But I mean, hey, better for me. I'm a Cowboys fan, and it is what it is. But the fact that that guy doesn't have Eric Bieniemy doesn't have a head coaching gig right now is disgraceful to the whole league. It is absolutely disgraceful. It's terrible.
Well, it's interesting because in this Super Bowl, you have 4 African American coordinators,
Right.
and not one of them got a job. So I think it's the first Super Bowl to where all the coordinators are African American. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't see it getting any better anytime soon. You see a lot of retread coaches getting opportunities, and you see a lot of teams taking chances on flyers from college that have not proven themselves at all. And then it's frustrating. You look up and you see the Super Bowl. You see these two high-powered like offenses and these decent defenses. Tampa Bay, Todd Bowles has done phenomenal.
Todd Bowles should have still been a head coach in this league. He got fired from the Jets, right?
Yeah.
And he was either 7-9 or 9-7 or something like that. And it's like, I don't know, man. Jim Caldwell got fired from the Lions, and they were 9-7. I want to say they made the playoffs. They made the playoffs and lost to the Cowboys. So it was just, and look at where that got them. They had to fire
Matt Patricia.
Yeah, he was terrible. He was terrible. So it's crazy. It's crazy, and it is a stain on the league. There's no way around it that we have less black coaches now than we did than when Colin Kaepernick first kneeled. There's less black coaches now. It's crazy, and again, nobody wants just a handout, right? And it's not about wanting a handout. I think that they have just it's like they're not hiring quality, because you got these white coaches that are terrible. They're terrible, and they continuously get jobs. So I don't know, but we'll definitely keep our eye on that, and we'll definitely talk about it some more. But I think it's time for the winner of the week. Let's get into that.
No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner.
All right. So my winner of the week this week is Chad Wheeler, right? I don't know if you heard about him, but he's the Seattle Seahawks backup offensive lineman that strangled his girlfriend and thought he had killed her. And I don't know what's worse in this instance, the horrific crime that he committed, or the fact that the lack of coverage that it received on ESPN, Fox News, or any of those sports shows. And I just really think back to a time with Ray Rice, Tyreek Hill, some of the other Kareem Hunt, some of the other guys that have had domestic violence stuff. And it was just front page news. You couldn't turn the channel without hearing about it. But somehow this incident just got swept under the rug. So I wanted to bring light to it, not because it's a good crime or anything like that, but just the fact that I feel that it's undercovered, and I feel that I don't understand why something of this magnitude is not covered enough. I don't understand what took the Seattle Seahawks so long to release this guy. It's just been, I don't know, man. We need answers.
All right, so first thing I say, the first thing I thought of, or the first person I thought about when I heard this news was Josh Brown. And if people don't know who Josh Brown is, he was a kicker. He was a kicker from for the New York Giants. I think he played for the Cardinals or some other teams. And I remember what made me think about it was Scotty gave him winner of the week. I'll never forget this day because it was probably we had just started in the studio in DC. And he gave him winner of the week. And I said, Josh Brown should never play another down in the NFL. And it turns out that he did, right? It turns out that he didn't. And I will repeat those sentiments. This guy, I don't even want to say his name, this guy should not play another down in the NFL. He literally choked this woman so she was unconscious, and he actually thought he killed her. And the fact that Seattle knew this and they took forever to cut him and didn't cut him immediately is crazy. The fact that you're right that we ain't been hearing about this on TV is crazy. The fact that if he was black, it would have been on the A block of every single show on TV, every single one of them. And that is more of a disgrace than there only being 2 black coaches in the league. I saw a tweet from Dez Bryant, and I thought it was one of his greatest tweets ever. He told this guy when he sees him, if he ever sees him in person is on site, and that he got to answer for what he did. And he also said that that because if because they're quick to vilify a black athlete, no matter what, whether he apologized, whether he paid his debt to society, whether he did whatever it is that he did, they're quick to vilify him. I haven't seen a thing on this incident, and it is crazy. I forget the Super Bowl because shoot, when it was the Super Bowl in what, 98 and what's his name, the cornerback for the damn Falcons had a stripper or a prostitute in his room the night before the Super Bowl. It was front page news. Everybody was talking. It was on ESPN, and this was years ago. So
I want to tell you, the first time I saw it, he's a guy that frequently watches the show. I think he just posted something for him. Mm-hmm. I think Omar Fillmore, he had posted it.
Okay.
And so I said, what? I was like, I haven't seen this. So I started researching it. I was like, wow, yo, this is nowhere to be found on ESPN. And then ESPN ended up sending an article. I believe it was like at 5 o'clock. Excuse me, today about it. And it's just kind of like, word, like that's how y'all going or whatnot. They said he strangled her, thought he killed her, went and ate dinner, came back in the bathroom and was like, oh, I thought I killed you.
Wow.
Yeah. And the pictures is terrible, man. The pictures is terrible on this.
He should be locked up.
He's out on bail. They gave him bail.
Yeah, and he should be locked up. It shouldn't even be. I think what it was, $400,000 bond. Why give him bond? Because who's to say he doesn't go after her again? You know what I'm saying? Like it is disgusting, man.
Well, how they tried to, and I want to be careful because I'm walking a thin line. They tried to make it seem like he was bipolar and he didn't take his pills, and that's why he was acting the way he did. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But
I'm surprised they didn't say CTE. I'm surprised they didn't give him. I'm surprised they didn't say. I'm surprised they didn't say, "Oh man, he had a rough childhood." But he a grown man. He had a rough childhood, and we should take it easy on him. Nah. Keep the same energy that you have for the black athletes, please, because right now, and anybody that's watching, go to flood his Twitter pages with boo-boo emojis, because that's why he's a piece of shit. It is what it is. Just flood it, and I'll find his Twitter, and I think that everybody should flood his Twitter with just shit emojis, because that's what he is. That's what he is.
You hear how all of it started, right? They say he asked her to bow for him, and she wouldn't bow. So that's why that's how all this started. I mean, the more you read about it, the more disgusted you get with the entire story. It's just, but I was so surprised to see that. Yeah, I had to see this from a Facebook tweet. Nowhere on ESPN. I mean, it's on ESPN now, but I mean, they haven't been tracking the story. They haven't been saying anything. This is wild, man. Really, really, really wild.
Yeah, man. It is wild. It's tough, man, because it's like don't make excuses for him. Make him vilify him like you do when a black athlete dies. Vilify him when a black athlete makes gets suspended for smoking weed. Vilify him like I did Ray Rice. Ray Rice went and went to counseling. He continued. Vilify him how y'all do Michael Vick. So Michael Vick paid his debt to society and did everything that he could. And to this day, it's certain people that will say, he doesn't deserve. He doesn't deserve to have a job on Fox. He doesn't deserve to be back in the NFL. He doesn't deserve to coach. He doesn't deserve to do anything. They should put him under the jail. They should give him the death penalty. They should treat him how he treated those dogs. But this guy, I guarantee you, those same people are like, well, she didn't bow. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It's man. So I feel like this guy, any bad publicity that this guy, he deserves it. Times 10. You know what I'm saying? He deserves it. He deserves it.
So something else I want to bring up to you. I saw this either today or yesterday. The Baseball Hall of Fame, right? So they didn't put anybody in, and everybody knows like Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Curt Schilling are some of the guys that, the headliners that have the statistics, your top players, but because of the steroids, baseball has pretty much said, nah, we're not letting them in. I think baseball just should let them in. I mean, you said narrative, they should. They should. Hello? Yeah. No, they should let them in.
I like what Curt Schilling said. And he was like, take me off of the writers. And I agree. Take them off because like you got some of these writers that are judging these guys for whatever reason. They're judging these guys and they've they have checkered backgrounds. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, who are you to judge me? And I just realized that they spoke about I heard it this morning. They said that the one guy, the guy that was the one stopping black folks from playing in the major leagues, and he's in the Hall of Fame. So
just let that marinate. Just let that marinate for a second. I mean, you look at Barry Bonds, right?
right.
And people, I heard today, I was listening to something, and one of the guys was just talking about how he's not even in the conversation of being the greatest baseball player of all time. I'm just like, are you serious? Like, he is arguably the best baseball player of all time. And I mean, you could say what you want about steroids. You still got to hit the ball. You still got to have good eye.
And the pitchers was on the same thing. So I mean, it ain't, the pitchers were on the same they were on the same stuff. So it's like, come on, man. And so my thing is this: pick a year that you want. Any year that you want. We could say from when he got to San Francisco. Let's say from when he got to San Francisco, that's when he started, right? Which I don't think is the case. You don't know. But if you take away his San Francisco years, he's still a Hall of Famer. He still has Hall of Fame. He still has better numbers than a ton of guys that are in the Hall of Fame. So what is the problem? You know what the problem was? They made him a villain. They vilified him, and now they using this moral code, and that's what's keeping him out. Alex Rodriguez is up next year.
He's up next year, but here's the thing, right? Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds never tested positive for steroids while they were in the league. Yeah, I mean, it's known, and they've proven that they did take it to an extent, but they never tested positive for it. And it's just kind of like, dude, when are y'all going to get over this, man? Just
it's wild, man. And I know we're talking baseball and we're talking about Barry Bonds, but I guess you can't, synonymous with Barry Bonds is Hank Aaron, to an extent, because Barry Bonds broke his record, and we just lost Hank Aaron, a few days ago. So I guess we should start there by paying respects to Hank Aaron, who is the greatest Brave of all time, by the way. But Hank Aaron, set a number of trends, But with that being said, just back to Barry Bonds, it's like, come on, man. These fools are I don't know what they're thinking now. It's just like, let the man in, let Roger Clemens in. Like these guys, no matter what they did, they
Pete
were
Rose.
Yeah. Pete Rose should have been in. I mean, I get it. And again, baseball is the most immoral sport that tries to be moral of all sports. They're so crooked in baseball, it's a shame. And it's just like, really? So, I mean, it's all narratives, because when Barry Bonds was hit, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, when they was hitting all them damn home runs, when that actually saved baseball, they weren't saying anything about, oh, they should be tested and this, that, and the third. They weren't saying any of those things. They were saying you had people that didn't even like baseball that was tuning in to the Cardinals versus the Cubs, just to see Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa. They was watching the San Francisco Giants just to see Barry Bonds. They didn't care about it. And you ask anybody, even the fans, that who name three guys on that World Series Giants team, most people can't.
but here's the thing, right? So you got the Houston Astros,
right?
Caught cheating.
Caught cheating.
So, caught cheating. Will any of those guys, when it's time for them to go into the Hall of Fame, be held to the same standard? I mean, they were caught. They shouldn't be Hall of Famers either. I mean, if you're being fair and consistent, but I doubt they'll do that. All right, so the topic I wanted to get to, did you see John Wall and Westbrook go at it yesterday?
Yeah. So this is the first time they played each other, right? This is the first time I don't think this is the first time the teams played each other. No, it is. I think it's the first time. And it was rather under. I think them jawing at each other was a lot better than the way they both played. and I think that I don't know, man. I don't really know how to feel about it. It's just like these dudes probably don't really like each other, and I think that Westbrook probably talked to Harden, and Harden was like, "Man, these dudes is corny, man. These dudes are some clowns." I wouldn't be surprised, because let's be real, Harden and I gotta guess. Harden and see what I have to deal with. 2-year-old.
Hey.
Harden and Westbrook are still boys, and I feel like Harden definitely said something to Westbrook, and I think that if the fans were in the stands, it would have probably been a lot more fun to watch. But I mean, it was alright. It was alright. I guess you could say Wall outplayed Westbrook, but they both were underwhelming, playing wise. And I think that game yesterday solidified that Bradley Beal is going to get traded.
Why do you think it solidified it?
If one, he needs to get the hell out because he is exhausted. I mean, they showed a graphic during the game how his scoring goes down in the fourth quarter, and it's probably mainly because he doesn't have anybody else on there that can really score like that. Westbrook hasn't. I think Westbrook only played 9 games. I know they missed a bunch of games, but he doesn't really have anybody else that can score like him on the game. I mean, on the team, and it just looks like he has to do so much, and I'm sure he wants to leave, even though he may not be saying it. But if the Wizards are smart, they trade him and get assets and picks for Bradley Beal, because right now that team is going nowhere, and ultimately you're just wasting his years right now. I think they're going to get rid of Westbrook as well.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised that they're not doing better. I thought with Westbrook and Bill and the pieces that they get at least contend for that 8th spot, but they look terrible, man. They look terrible out there.
And I think they have time to get it together. They missed a ton of games because of COVID. So I think they have time to get it together. Will they get it together? Only time to tell. But yeah, man,
So Bradley Beal to the Lakers. Let's talk about that for a second. I saw somebody just posted. I mean, it is sort of an arms race going on. I don't think the Lakers have anything to really give the Wizards, but
give them picks. I tell you what, if you want to get Bradley Beal, give him what they probably won't give him. What's the white boy name? Caruso. I think if you add Bradley Beal to the Lakers, we got Jamal here say he don't want him, but you add Bradley Beal to the Lakers. I already think that the Lakers are going to be in the finals, but they're going to run away with the West. Like, it won't even be close. Like, the Clippers won't have anything for them, No. And here's the thing: he won't be that guy that does too much. I don't think Bradley Beal. I don't think Bradley Beal is the guy that I think he wants to go somewhere where he can just chill, shoot threes, drive the lane sometimes, and just play ball. Everything that they asking him to do in Washington right now, he don't want to do that. Ultimately, he's like Klay Thompson on the Wizards right now with no Steph, no Draymond, no KD, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? He's a star that it is what it is.
I mean, I think to be competitive, like you said, the Lakers are going to run away with the West, but the Nets are going to run away with the East. It's not a team in the East that could compare. Somebody is going to have to make a move if they want to be able to compete with the Nets and the Lakers. I could very well see the Lakers adding another piece and saying, you know what? Huh? Yeah, they're going to add another piece. And, if you're Milwaukee or you're Miami or you're anybody in the East, you're thinking like, hey, let us add another piece too, because it's just not going to be enough. And Somebody just posted that it's like the Chiefs Bucs. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's like I don't know how it'll end up. I don't know who they'll have to beat, but ultimately, I think most people believe we're going to see Nets and Lakers.
Or Heat and Lakers rematch. No, I'm just joking. But just to so real
They
quick,
need another piece too. They need another piece.
they just need some rest. I think that's Butler's hurt right now. Butler hasn't played in quite some time. So we'll see. With Miami, it is what they're not a team that you really have to talk about right now. Talking about Miami, because they're not like if the playoffs started today, they wouldn't make the playoffs. So I think they're going to turn it around and be in that playoff run. Real quick, I do want to talk about yesterday was the 1 year. I guess I don't really like to say anniversary of Kobe's death, but it was 1 year to the day that Kobe passed away, and I think like everybody else, I remember exactly where I was when I heard the news, what I was doing, and how crazy I felt. Like it just felt weird. And who knew that it would lead to the type of year that we had last year? But what I do like is seeing the outpouring of love that he is getting, and how instrumental he was in a lot of the guys that are playing right now. How instrumental he was, in their lives and in their careers. All the things, that we talked about last year, and even before he passed away, what he was doing for the WNBA. And we all know about what he was doing with his daughter, and how much of a star he was creating with her. And then the other folks that were on the helicopter with him, the pilot and the other families. And because I just know that their families are still going through it, especially like yesterday. It was probably super tough. So just having time to sit and think about all of that.
Yeah, I mean, tell your heroes you love them while they're here. When I look at Kobe Bryant, I look at somebody that was definitely underappreciated when he was here. We took him for granted. He was a different type of person. I mean, you had like your extreme Kobe Bryant fans, and then you had people that respected Kobe Bryant. But it's a shame when you have to find out everything that somebody is doing when they pass away, when it's too late. Right. I mean, he was doing phenomenal stuff, and you just look at it's funny because now I look at old Kobe interviews, and it's just like, man, this dude was on to something, and you just kind of wish you were taking it all in when he was here, but he was that exceptional. I think for a lot of people like myself, for a while with Kobe, I felt like he was trying to be too much like Jordan. And I didn't really understand till it became later that no, that's him. That's who he is. He's got the same personality traits as like Jordan. He's a killer. He's focused. He's demanding. And you look back at it, you're just like, man, this guy, he was somebody we should have been looking up to all along. And his life was just cut too short, man. Too short.
Yeah, man. And I'm gonna try and get Jamal on here real quick, because I know he's a Lakers fan, and now we joke all the time, and things of that nature. And I do want to get like Laker fans' point of views, right? Because we know that some guys are fans and they're like biased, but there are some fans out there that genuinely love the guy and things of that nature. So, and if he doesn't come on, that's fine too. I just, again, like you said, tell your heroes that you love them, and give people their roses while they don't. Like, another guy, unfortunately passed from COVID yesterday. That I had the pleasure of meeting when I went to a conference in Miami a couple years ago, and Sekou Smith met him in 2019, and great guy. He was a great guy, and it's unfortunate, man. It's like, man, he's 48 years old is young, man. I don't care what anybody says. For somebody to pass at 48, it's like, my God. It's like, man. I think that again, you gotta give people their roses, man. I try my best, watching different shows and people who we've come in contact with, whether it's through the show or outside of the show or whatever. Give them their flowers, man. And if they're doing a good job, then you give them a good job. You let them know that they're doing a good job. Let's bring Jamal in here.
What up,
Jamal?
Come on, man.
What up, Scotty? How y'all doing?
What's up?
Man, put Lake Show. Yo, could you just put your regular? You know what? What up, man? What's going on, man?
My middle name, like on for real, on my birth certificate.
All right, so you're a Laker fan. What yesterday's always, I guess it's kind of like gonna be pretty much engraved like for the rest of our lives. January 26th. What were your thoughts?
It's interesting, right? Because Phil called me and he was like, "Yo, I'm just calling to check on you," because everybody knows I'm a big Laker Kobe fan, and I was like, "Nah, you like when Kobe passed." He had already given everything he was going to give to me. You know what I mean? I'm a Lakers fan, and I don't know him personally. So the sadness was different. It was like for his family or whatever. But as far as, because I appreciated him while he was here. I respected his greatness, his grind. Real, quick story. My sister was in the store one time. She used to live out in Newport, and I was, 25 years old. And she was like, "Yo, Kobe Bryant's in the..." Huh? Yeah, 17 years ago. She was like, "Kobe Bryant's in the store." And I'm like, "Say hi." She was like, well, so she was like, "Hi, Kobe. My little brother wants to say hi to you." So she says little brother. So he gets the phone and says, "What's up, little man?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm a grown up." And he was like, "All right, have a good day." I was like, yo. But, it was nice for him to do that or whatever.
Right.
I went to watch a lot of Lakers games. I was stationed in Dover at the time when they would come to Philly. They come to D.C. He always put on a show. And he made it he would say, it's my job to put on a show. Injured, tired, wasn't no resting, none of that. You know what I mean? He took the craft seriously. And to Scotty's point about, wanting to be like Mike, I think he came too close to Mike, and Mike fans didn't get an opportunity. They still wanted their man to be the guy. So anything infringing on that was like, now get that lame out of here. And Kobe was, he was programmed. He was the McDonald's guy and the Sprite guy. So,
and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Right. So there was imagery that he was perfect. So he had to live up to that for a little while, which made him seem corny. But I always say, because I'm a suburban cat, he did it for the suburbs, right? He was a suburban dude. He was never really trying to be overly street.
Except for when he put out the rap out.
It was terrible. Yeah, it was terrible. he was like the anti-Iverson. Not to diss Iverson, right? But Iverson
right. They're like opposites.
Yeah. But they loved each other. Iverson loves Kobe Bryant. You know what I mean? Right. So a lot of people just hated Kobe. He's a snitch. He's this. He's that. Just appreciate the game. You know what I mean? Appreciate, and he was such a gangster on the court, just an all-out killer. So, as a Lakers fan, I just say every year, just happy that he gave us 20 years, greatest Laker of all time, easily.
The greatest.
He's up there.
First in scoring, second in assists, second in rebounds, first in minutes played, first in games played, 2 jerseys retired, 5 championships. Most attendance, highest paid. How could he not be the greatest Laker of all time?
I mean, that's pretty big. But to Jamal's point, when we were all coming up, the street was glorified. Right. It was glorified. And like you said, a lot of people gravitated to Tracy McGrady, Allen Iverson, and like you said, it wasn't cool to be just popular and study your craft. We wanted to see the guys with the platinum chains and the cornrows and all that sort of thing. And you look back at it and you're like, this is the guy we should have been following. We should have been following Kobe Bryant because he was trying to put the blueprint out there. But and I agree too, he did come too close to Mike, and it did discourage a lot of Michael Jordan fans. Like, man, he's just trying to be like Mike.
It's the same thing with LeBron. It's the same thing. And the crazy thing is like, you have it's the same thing. What y'all saying is like how MJ fans were to Kobe. Kobe fans are like that to LeBron. Like
extremely protective of Kobe. Yeah.
And LeBron and so what's gonna happen is you're gonna have somebody come up. They may be in the league already. They may not even be in the league yet. That is gonna be that great. And then LeBron fans are gonna say, no. He can't compare to my guy.
I think the difference is LeBron went so many places, right? So he's got, he's got fans everywhere and he's got rivals everywhere. As where Kobe was Los Angeles, Mike was Chicago and the world, right? And Kobe was there. But LeBron, like, he's got such a universal following. Like, so people love it. Miami, Cleveland, now Los Angeles. Like, he's made in Los Angeles.
And I think that the biggest thing with that is, it may kind of sound corny to say, but he's changed the economy in everywhere that he's gone. Like, when he left Cleveland the first time, he literally shattered the economy in businesses have to shut down after LeBron left. You know what I'm saying? And Miami and LA are a little different because, without LeBron, they could hold their own. But he still like controls a lot because because I tell you what, when LeBron leaves, the attendance is gonna go down. Like, Lakers are the Lakers, they have their brand. Hear me out. Maybe it won't go down as much because Anthony Davis is still
the
here.
Ticket prices will go down, but the attendance won't go down.
Yeah, I mean, there were some times when
no, we sell out.
No. But what I'm saying, maybe you're right. The ticket prices. There's gonna be some sort of economic shift once LeBron leaves LA. Once he retires. I don't think he's going to another place. But once he retires. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What's interesting about that is that's when the Lakers paid Kobe that, which sounds like nothing, 2-year, $50 million contract. Back then, people thought, "Wow, this is crazy." They were signaling to players, "We take care of you. Come here. Even at the end of your career, we take." That helped them to get LeBron, but that also puts asses in seats when we're going to be terrible. Because at some point in the cycle of sports, you're gonna go down. You know what I mean? If you've been up that high for that long. So, yeah, man, I appreciate you letting me come on here. But Kobe is certainly my favorite player. And I want to just say one more thing. It's a difference between greatest and best. It's an argument of who the best Laker is. He's easily the greatest Laker of all time. So Magic might be the best. I still say Kobe, but
I mean, you make a great case for Kobe as the best. I mean, the Lakers have a lot of players to choose from. So, I mean, when you just say centers, right? You still got to think about Shaq. You got to think about Kareem. You got to think about Wilt. Wilt won't get the acclaim because I guess it was later. Yeah. And he couldn't beat Russell. Right. So
I got a question for Jamal. Mm-hmm. Not to get off that subject. So it looks like you're free. And the streets have been clamoring for you to go against fate tonight.
I'm with it. What was young?
I don't think it's happening. Fate
you don't think it's happening?
Yeah. So there is going to be a battle tonight. We're gonna figure it out in about 5 minutes. I'm gonna just post it, and we're gonna open up the battlegrounds, and we're gonna see what's shaking.
I'm there. My daughter's at her homegirl's house, so I don't got nothing else
boy.
to do tonight. You know what I mean?
Nah, they posed it, and then I what you said, fate, he ain't ready or something like that.
I don't know.
Well, he don't want that smoke. I mean, listen. It's noted how I get down. So I mean, Fate's my guy, and you know him and Marcus and Phil to a lesser degree. They're all after my O. I'm undefeated. You know what I mean? And
Stop saying that, yo.
okay, after my zero. How about that?
Thank you. I mean, that sounds bad too, but just stop saying my O, man. That sounds. Oh my God.
Floyd Mayweather used to say they want my O. Floyd Mayweather could say.
Hey, yo, let's get out of here. Jamal is out of control right now. I don't condone that. But this is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
It's your boy Scotty B.
We out.
Anthony Adebayo. With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com.